So, I'm Syncope and I love creating OCs. Like, most of the time when I'm drawing, if I'm not doing commission work, I'm either making a new OC or drawing an already existing one. Like, I actually have like close to about 200 something OCs. Might be closer to 300 something now, I don't know. But most of them aren't even used. I just can't stop. I have an addiction. But, anyways, just to clarify, OC stands for original character. But anyways, since I'm constantly like making new characters for no real reason, I figured I could talk about my process in making them. Like, because I have some friends and everything that do struggle to create their own characters, and I always really like helping people with like art stuff or writing, or just I love giving people advice for some reason. Like, I just thrive off of it and helping get people like motivated to do stuff. But so the first thing I do is to look for inspiration. And the best places that I can find inspiration are usually like clothing websites or anywhere where I can actually like look at clothes or outfits or anything. And like my favorite websites would be like Pinterest or Instagram. And yeah, I just get a lot of inspiration from clothes because I can just like imagine the character in a certain outfit, and from there, I can see their other details somewhat. Next is to decide the gender and species of the character. So, saying species might bring up images of furries in your mind, but it doesn't have to be just that. Like, for example, your species could be something from Dungeons and Dragons, like a tiefling or elf or whatever. And I hope I pronounced that correctly, because I'm not sure. I've never actually heard anybody say it in real life, so yeah. But you could also just stick with human too. If you're trying to get into furry stuff in their community, decide what animal you'd like to draw, or even just go with your favorite animal in general. I will say some species are a lot harder to draw than others. Like, I'll say that reptiles, amphibians, and pretty much anything aquatic is a little bit harder to draw. But the most popular fursona species are canines, felines, and foxes. So you'll see a lot of that, and that might be the easiest thing to like learn first, you know? Up next is the hardest part, and that is actually designing your OC. So I understand like not everyone's able to draw or is at the exact level that they want to be, but like don't let that stop you. There's dress up games and avatar creator games that people use for this purpose all the time, and like a lot of these games have tons of different options for how to design your characters. You can really make some nice OCs with some of these games, and I can actually list some of the games and stuff in the description below. But I've seen so many people use certain games like all the time on Instagram and create OCs and adoptables and all that, and they're adorable. So yeah. But if you do draw, but don't feel like you're like good enough, or you just feel like you need some more practice, or you're just overall not confident, use a base. Just be sure you credit the original artist and don't steal anything from them. If it's like a your character here piece, I definitely ask the artist for permission to use that as a base, because 9 times out of 10, they're charging money for that your character here, and they're not going to appreciate seeing their work stolen. So, yeah, definitely always talk to the artist. Don't get on bad terms. If you get on bad terms with one, thing spread like wildfire, and there's a good chance the rest of that could spread through the internet and all that. But I even have bases available on my Patreon for any of my patrons to use. Like, bases make life so much easier. Like, most of the time when I draw anymore, I use my pre-made bases. Like, it's honestly kind of relaxing not having to worry about drawing another body and stuff all over again, and just having a pose, the proportions I need, and all that. Like, if I need to change anything up, I can just easily do that. What I find most difficult about this step coming up, though, is hairstyle. I'm actually able to draw like hair and everything, but I have such a hard time getting exactly how I want it and for it to not look funky. another thing that I struggle with a lot is eye shape and color. Like, I'm scared of giving my characters same face syndrome, so I'm always trying to figure out like different eye shapes instead of like my basic like football shaped ones. But yeah. In regards to hair, there are actually a ton of tutorials online, and I definitely recommend taking advantage of them. There's like no shame in using a tutorial. Someone made it just for the purpose of helping someone else to improve themselves. Like, honestly, I want to make my own tutorials on how to do stuff because, yeah, I mean, like, this is somewhat even like a tutorial because I want to help people create their own original characters. So yeah, anyways, after you get your design down, if you're drawing, your next step is to color. If you're drawing digitally, please make sure you use another layer. Like, I can't talk either. So I can't tell you how many times I've had to redo drawings because I did stuff on the wrong layer. Like, I've had times where I've spent hours upon hours doing something just to realize I did it all on the wrong layer and I have to delete it all. It is painful. But if you're drawing traditionally, I recommend going over your line art with a pen just to make the lines like a little bit crisper and easier to see. And it also just makes things look a little bit better in my opinion, and everything stands out more. Because if you're just doing it with pencil, a lot of times once you start coloring it, all of that kind of fades in together and it's hard to differentiate lines and everything. And after you're done with that, you're practically done with the whole thing. Like, you can stop here and admire your wonderful new child, or you can move on to more detailed stuff. This stuff being like a name, a background, deciding what you want to use this OC for. Like, there's all kinds of things that they can be used for. Their stories, fanfics, roleplay, and role-playing games, just to have them. They can be used to represent you. Like, my icon is just that. It's an OC that I created to represent my online persona. If you can't think of anything to use your OC for, no worries. It's really not a big deal at all. Just save them for later. Or even, like, you could try to sell them or trade them. Like, make some bank, you know? As for naming the OC, I usually save this for the end because I like to find names that really fit their appearance. And once I get the name and appearance down, it's like I can come up with a personality easier for them. But I know some people make names first, then work from there, but I personally find that really difficult. But yeah, that's about it. My only other advice is to keep drawing and practicing. You might not like your work right now, but no one starts out as an expert in anything. I'm definitely not an expert, and I'm still learning. Since middle school, I've improved a lot. Like I said, I'm still learning though. Don't let others discourage you and make you feel like your work is crap, because it's not. Don't try to compare yourself with other artists, and all that will do is just make you feel really depressed and make you want to give up on your art career, which you shouldn't do because you are your own person and they are their own person. You have different art styles and you both can go equally as far. You're like at the starting line. They might be halfway through the race, but that doesn't mean that you can't catch up, you know? That probably doesn't sound that inspiring, but yeah. But anyways, again, I'm Syncope, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Please feel free to leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe. If anyone draws some OCs and would like to share them, tag me on Instagram at Syncope Arts. I will most likely put my username in the video somewhere. I don't know. Probably. Yes. No. I don't know. But anyways, I'd love to see your work. I also have a Patreon exclusive Discord server where I plan to share tutorials, art, memes, and just all kinds of things, really. It's not fully up and running just yet, but it exists. Like, I have one single patron, so yeah. It's there. But yeah, bye!